Basics of Operations Management. Operations management is the function of managing the operating core of an organization, which involves the activities associated with creation, production, distribution, and delivery of the organization's goods and services. Up to the 1970s, operations management was considered as a center with the basic focus on cost reduction. Since the 1990s, it has been increasingly recognized as a basis for value creation within the organization. Today, operations management is viewed in the traditional view, perceives operations management as a system that is involved with the manufacture and production of goods and services. The more modern view perceives operations management as a system designed to deliver value. This lesson discusses both of them and issues related to them. It follows from the previous slide that after studying this lesson, you should be able to define different approaches of operation management, know the functions and responsibilities of operational manager, know the relating production management with other management functions, make difference between services and manufacturing. Operations management transforms inputs into outputs of goods or services. For example, a manufacturing plant takes raw materials in the form of parts, components, and sub-assemblies and transforms them into a manufactured product such as an automobile by the use of resources such as labor, capital, and energy. The figure shown here illustrates how operations management undertakes the transformation process. The value-driven approach starts by recognizing that a business is a set of processes, each of which has inputs, outputs, and structure. Each process has a job to do, and each process should be measured on how effective it is in achieving the desired outcomes. It is critical for the organization to know the customer's needs in order to support the firm's demand, its forecasting needs, and its product design and development activities. Developed product strategy involves marketing, operations, and engineering activities in order to create products that customers desire. This requires an ability to evaluate product concepts so that there is support to design new products or introduce product improvements. Management activities involve selection of raw materials from vendors and the ultimate delivering and servicing of the product for the customer. These activities include operations planning and control processes and managing the product transformation processes. The strategic planning process defines the firm's as well as its own operation management function. Organizations can use effective operations management either to show improvements in performance and quality coupled with lower prices in real value or to help raise their bottom line. The concept of internal customer has profoundly changed operations management thinking. If a company's product is compared with that of a competitor's product, the product with the highest ratio will be the most valued by the customer. Performance is defined by the cumulative benefits that will result if the product is purchased and used as intended. Quality is broadly defined as the extent to which a product or service is delivered in consistence with what the customer has been led to expect. One very important concept in this analysis is that of the value concept shown here through this figure. The right-hand box represents the product life cost associated with acquiring, operating, and disposing of the product. The left-hand box represents the sum of the benefits that will occur if the product is purchased and consumed. What we need is some means to measure these benefits. The value of a product is the ratio of performance divided by cost, as is shown in the equation here. Value equals to performance or cost, where performance equals to F, which stands for functionality, quality, speed, timeliness, flexibility. If a company's product is compared with that of a competitor's product, The product with the highest ratio will be the most valued by the customer. This is the value equation. Flexibility is the input to the value equation relating to the ability of the operations management system to give the customer the desired product. Automation is the act or process of converting the controlling of a machine or device to a more automatic system, such as computer or electronic controls. Needless to say, it increases the operational efficiency of the organizations. The advantages of automation include replacing human operators in tedious tasks, replacing humans in tasks that should be done in dangerous environments, making tasks that are beyond the human capabilities, such as handling too heavy loads, too large objects, too hot or too cold substances, or the requirement to make things too fast or too slow. Economy improvement. Sometimes and some kinds of automation improves in economy of enterprises, society, or most of humankind. The disadvantages are that it faces technology limits. Technology is not able to automate all the desired tasks. The cost of automation is difficult to predict. The research and development cost of automating a process is difficult to predict accurately beforehand. Since this cost can have a large impact on profitability, it's possible to finish automating a process only to discover that there is no economic advantage in doing so. The automation of a new product required a huge initial investment in comparison with the unit cost of the product, although the cost of automation is spread in many product batches. The roles of operations manager keep modifying, and the focus keeps changing in the context of the forces of change that operate and impact the functioning of the organization. The department's mission can be segregated into structural decisions, infrastructural decisions, organizational decisions. Structural decisions are long-term decisions that require substantial capital investment and are difficult to reverse once they are in place. Infrastructural decisions are typically tactical in nature and facilitate the management of day-to-day issues. Effective operations manager must show commitment to their employees and to the organization's objectives, and thus should play an important role in organizational decision-making. A good operations manager will interface with other functions in order to exploit the competencies of the organization. Conflicts between operations and marketing in most organizations results from the lack of broad agreement on critical organizational decisions such as the width of the product line, the amount of time taken to deliver the product and service or quality levels. The interface between these two functions offers wide leverage in most organizations. Increased understanding and trust between operations and marketing propels many organizations to higher levels of effectiveness. Operations managers should have knowledge of financial procedures, limits, and capabilities. The effectiveness of operational planning and budgeting is often driven by the level of cooperation between these two areas. Process development and engineering is responsible for production methods necessary to make the products. This function has a great impact on operations. Therefore, cooperation between these three functions, that is, process engineering, design and operations, leads to improved organizational performance. Operations management and human resource departments have to cooperate for recruiting and training employees, enhancing employee well-being and development, and fostering motivation that are vital to the success of management policies in practice. The operational plans become the driver of all business planning, including recruiting, cash flows, and marketing promotions. With computer-integrated manufacturing systems, IT plays a very important role. Now let us check if we have understood the various concepts discussed in this lesson clearly. People part with their money to buy a product when it delivers less value than the value they attribute to the money exchange. Right or wrong? Wrong. According to transformation approach, operations management transforms inputs into outputs of goods or services. Right or wrong? Right. Operations management is often described as procurement and operations management. Right or wrong? Wrong. Before we end, let us briefly revise what we have studied till so far. Operations management is no longer merely something that has to get done in order to proceed with business as usual. It successfully helps organizations to squeeze out the waste and to focus on how to differentiate them from their competitors in meaningful ways. Where operations management was once viewed primarily as a manufacturing function, service firms are now recognizing its tremendous competitive potential. Instead of a focus on cost, the focus now encompasses reliability as well as delivery times. Operations management is now a major contributor to the design and management of the supply chain needed to create, deliver, and service the product sold.